I got you.
We good now?
Yeah. So you're
Get rid of your phone.
throw it across the room.
This is the NFT morning show where we got Echo. Pio's not hosting today. I'm sort of standing in as Clemente.
Well, why is that happening, Nick?
Oh, hold on. Don't worry about it. I'm standing in as Clemente. I look the same as both of them. Many people confuse us. This is the NFT morning show where we have guests and hosts, usually mostly hosts, not guests. It used to be that we had a lot more guests. I don't know what happened. I mentioned multiple times to Clemente, yo, we should get more guests on stage. Do things native to the medium itself, but instead it's just like, oh, I guess these five guys are going to talk about it and Signal. You know, that's the way that things have been distributed in recent weeks. I've had enough. I've had enough of this. And so, yeah, this is enough. We have very special people. Let me big up each and one of every one of them. Pio cooks a great pizza. Signal, she speaks multiple languages. Very impressive. Tries to speak Chinese, but it's offensive. Spencer, Magic Maven. That guy is absolutely crushing it with Magic. He's basically got every single card. Easy. On vacation right now, added him as a speaker, but I believe one day he's going to get back on here. And you know, hopefully he doesn't quit. He's got a big upcoming project called Bodogos. Check out the project. He's the future of Solana. Let's dive into the show. Well, Pio, thanks for asking. Last night, if you're wondering what I ate, well, I ate with you. We had a dinner together, didn't we, Pio?
Oh, it was wonderful. Wow.
That was great. Actually, it wasn't my favorite spot in Brooklyn at the moment. I would say runner-up, which is like, it is weird as a selection for best spot in Brooklyn. I'm taking a bold position with that, but here I am doing that. Commenter says Nick seems like he's on the cusp of a breakdown, and that's correct. That's the sort of energy I'm trying to deliver.
No,
this morning. No, this is just how I normally am. So I see people requesting Kicks to do the weather report in Mandarin, but his internet is back to choppy. It was promising moments ago. It's no longer promising. It looks
It looks great on my end. I'm getting 800 kilobytes up. Let's do this.
We're going to start with the weather report. Look, I'll give you a go at it, Kicks. Let's see if it gets choppy. If you mess this up at all, we're handing it over to Signal.
Permanently or just like temporarily?
permanently.
No.
Permanently. Cool. No, I like that pressure. That's fine. Get my head in here.
You're making for great radio right now, dude. Let me tell you. Hold on, give me a minute.
Not coming to my email, man. I don't.
Give me a minute.
My email has issues. Don't worry, I got this, buddy. We're gonna hit the go button here in just a second.
Wow.
Well, the countdown started. We're at -1, -2, -3.
Rumble?
We're
This will
ready.
be the best weather report you ever heard in your life at 800 kilobytes up speed, coming in hot. Friday, May 26th. We're looking at total market volume, $27.7 million. OpenSea coming in at 16, or OpenSea coming in at 5, Blur coming in at 16. So OpenSea down at 5 million a day in revenue. That's low. Leaders, we got Apes 45.2, Mutants underneath 10, Punks pushing above 50, 50.9. Azuki just below 15, hasn't moved much. D-Gods, Captains both at 8.5. Pudgy's 5.1, Moonbirds flat at 2.0. Over the past 24 hours, Elements by Jack Butcher auction ended yesterday, selling out the 129 piece collection for $820,000. Wow. That auction was heated with pieces selling from 1.8 up to 22 ETH. Action or Jack Butcher ecosystem doing very well. O'Peppin's almost at a 0.8 ETH floor from 0.2 earlier this month. That's a 4x. Ben.eth quote retweeted a compromised Steve Aoki Twitter link which led to a $170,000 loss for folks who clicked on the phishing link. Ouchie. OPEPins are up 20% overnight and 150% on the week after the team announced the third and fourth packs are coming today. Speculation that one of the packs could be a collab with artist Bats. Season 1 OPEPins have seen sales for as high as 25 ETH. Fun fact, Bored Elon Musk on Twitter owns 700 of these. Lastly, following OnlyOne's recent announcement of a new creative director from Riot Games, the team followed up with a new strategic advisor, David Uzlan, the owner to Batman IP and film rights. They also hired Nick O'Neill as a strategic advisor, owner of the Nifty IP and film rights. Only one for 1.5 ETH. Looking at crypto, 26.3 is Bitcoin. ETH right at 1,800. Solana just below 20. Ape chilling at 3.2. That's it for your weather report. Back to you in the studio.
Fantastic weather report as usual. Kick some other updates from the Nifty Daily Digest. That is the daily newsletter published at thenifty.com. You also need an account there to claim the free NFT of the day, so make sure that you have an account. Kanpai Pandas announced the launch of Kanpai Media, a new platform for content including gambling, sports, and crypto, with a strategy focused on social media collaboration, strategic partnerships, and impactful advertising. Binance has reportedly entered the NFT lending space by launching a feature that allows users to borrow Ethereum using high-value blue-chip NFTs as collateral, with a current annual interest rate of 7.91% and a loan-to-value, that's the LTV ratio, between 40% and 60%.
You know it.
Sorry, Nick?
You know it.
We know.
We know those acronyms.
In the 2 hours following its addition to Blend, CloneX saw only 3 sales and none with the buy now, pay later, the BNPL feature, breaking the trend of high volume following Blend announcements. Also saw NFT Statistic, friend of the show, a guest as recently as last week, tweet out that being added to Blend is a non-factor and stop buying projects that were added to Blend. So Nick, if you want to take it away from here.
He just dropped the mic with that one. Blend is a non-factor.
Well, I don't think those were his exact words.
Those were his exact words.
But non-factor in price, not utility. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like if a business like created an Instagram account and people are like, dude, we got to buy the stock. Like, this is crazy, man. You can now follow them on Instagram. It's like, it's a tool. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be pumping the price at all.
I think the theory that a lot of people had was that people were going to start using debt to finance their purchases, that the market was going to rush in and basically start buying NFTs once again because they couldn't afford them. And the average person on the street was going to hop on Blur, find the tab for Blend, connect their Ethereum wallet, go and migrate ETH off of their exchange where they were at, right? Send it there, then use collateralize some items in order to get that loan, and then go buy, an Oni Force, which is what feels like the average consumer is probably going to do.
Oh, totally. I mean, right now grocery bills went from 150 to 300. You gotta make that NFT money work a little extra for you.
So, you can't afford an NFT? Well, get a loan for it. That's what they say. Is my financial advisor is.
They're saying to get a loan for an NFT because that's like a really smart financial decision, 1,000%. Look, we could take an updated look at Blend. We got Milady's that were added. They have continued to pump. Pudgy Penguins.
Did they pull back yesterday, though? It was dramatic or something?
Yeah, Milady's is down.
Milady's is down bigly.
What do you chalk that up to, Spencer?
I mean, what do you chalk their pump up to, right? Like, they pumped like nobody's business. Right? This is just a retracement back to, like, you're sitting there on your big Milady gains. Like, all right.
This is an Elon
What do you
Musk
think the catalyst is?
Right?
You just muted yourself.
Yeah, no, this is like, healthy retracement, whatever, right? As the TA guys say, like, this is just obviously it was going to go down.
No.
The beautiful thing, though, is that
this is the double Falcon pullback into a flying Phoenix.
Dude, you ever seen the McDonald's triple backflip? This is kind of what's going on here. But the interesting thing too is I actually had a couple of friends.
Cheese?
What?
Was
said
cheese
with
thrown on
cheese.
that?
Yeah. No, thank you for interjecting with your TA. I was going to move on to an actual point. So I had a couple of friends, like now with some of the other products out there, people were actually able to short Miladies. And I knew a few people who made some money shorting or with put options. There's some interesting stuff. Like this is, we're in like the financial instruments available to NFT traders across the market is so much more than it was in the last bull market. And there haven't been, this is one of the first times I heard a bunch of people who had taken like actual short positions, bought put options, done kind of like interesting things into this Miladies run that were making serious cash. And I think that's like, we have like weirdly low volatility in NFTs than what we've been used to. And so it's interesting to watch that kind of happen for some of the first time.
You shouldn't have told Nick that. Nick's going to be like placing iron condor strategies on NFTs now.
Yeah, and I don't know how to run with that one. Real quick. OXBT, Easy had us buy this shitcoin yesterday on.
It's a Bitcoin shitcoin.
It's a Bitcoin what is it? BRC20? Is that what
yes, correct.
So, if you go to the market for this thing, it's no wonder that this thing is not pumping at the moment. I think I'm at like maybe break even.
No, I think it's 4 cents right now per token, correct?
Or 3 cents.
Oh, it's down to 3 cents. It was 4 cents when I woke up this morning. So if it's down to 3 cents, you're still up because you have 3,000 of them, right?
Yeah, I have 3,000 of them.
It's worth $90.
Yeah, and I spent $30. So big win.
3x.
Yo, huge win on this one. In terms of I can go check the price now. There's these two sites. So at least I learned about setting up one of these Bitcoin wallets and moving some money over. But Easy. Well, actually, now it's up to 5 cents ever since we started talking about this. This may be a massive pump opportunity, people.
$150. Let's go.
I may buy some of these. Let's see what happens. $230. Double down on it. Triple down on it.
What's the market cap of the coin right now?
It was at 4 cents. It's 8 million. So for all our math boys, they can extrapolate to what 5 cents would be.
And what were the expectations of how this coin would perform?
Easy's target is ridiculous. The market overall is saying $1, which it would be.
The market is dumb.
But the problem with this thing is like how you trade this is not the same as like if you went to Uniswap and you just convert any arbitrary amount of money into some coin. The difference with these is that it's sold in blocks. And so like you have to go buy one block at a time. So let's say an ask, we have 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000 all listed at 5 cents, or there's actually a bunch of blocks at 5 cents. So like you have to go buy each of those individually. Whereas like if you went to Uniswap or something like that, you would just like convert X amount into this, and it would just like it would just work. You're muted, Kix.
Kix, go ahead.
It's like a DEX, not an LP.
Yeah, but it's not even. Sorry, what? No, a DEX would. Yeah, Uniswap is a DEX, but the distinction is you can convert any arbitrary amount. With this one, like you have to buy, you have to literally manually sweep the floor of the order book.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like something you'd like doing.
I mean, it's interesting. It is without question getting attention. Look, the bottom line is people are asking about, like I saw people in our Discord saying, I just bought my first Bitcoin for this. I've never owned Bitcoin before, which is obviously insanely weird to me as somebody that comes from Bitcoin, for you to be in the Web3 space and you're like, yeah, I've never owned Bitcoin before. But I think it's reflective of, the kind of the mindset of the quote unquote crypto side of the space. And now that Bitcoin has things that the crypto side of the space thinks are fun and interesting, aka ordinals, BRC20s, all this stuff, it's bringing a lot of activity to the Bitcoin blockchain. And I mean, if they can continue to develop this user experience, because this user experience has basically only been developed over the past few months. I got an Xverse wallet now, right? And I never had that before, even as a Bitcoiner. And it's just like Phantom. It's like an in-browser wallet. It works pretty well, it seems. However, the way you inscribe is a little bit less user-friendly than, you know, smart contracts and stuff. But this is only the beginning. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how this stuff plays out. Taproot Wizards obviously is getting a tremendous amount of hype, and my assumption is Udi and Eric Wall are waiting to drop that for a better market, and they're just building up hype, building up hype, building up hype, which you can do when you've never dropped like an NFT project before. And yeah, they have all the time in the world. They can literally drop the thing whenever they want and continue to build hype. So it's pretty cool stuff. What's up, Nick?
I just hear a lot of people talking about the debt ceiling and the association with Ron DeSantis and the impact that that's having on the Taproot Wizards demand. And it's getting very complicated out there. You know, there's a lot of factors that are playing into this whole situation. You know, is Binance an entire scam? Is Ledger going to be hacked? You know, these are all of the things that a lot of people are asking, and it does appear to be influencing the overall market as a whole. Many of us don't have the answer to those questions, but we will find out.
We're going to find out.
We'll get to the bottom of that.
100%. Signal, have you dabbled in any Bitcoin or ordinals related activity?
I'm in research mode at the moment, but I think what I'll do is I'll go buy something. I'll go something, one of these BRCs and then an NFT, and then it just forces me to go through the process. So I'm going to do that over Memorial Weekend, just dive in and then, yeah, get my hands dirty and just start buying stuff. I mean, like if you're spending $30, I mean, there's only upside, right? Only upside.
Only upside.
The worst thing I can do is lose my $30 lunch. That's it. So yeah, I'm just going to experiment.
Yeah, easy mode.
Easy mode. Spencer, what about, is the fund exploring Bitcoin Ordinals BRC20s?
I'm looking at it. I think it's interesting. I think it's something that, you know, I put a tweet out recently. Like I'm looking for the first like real native big project that I think is building a company that isn't like I want a thesis that isn't historical narrative, right?
The provenance of the sats.
Yeah, I think there's like, you know, sub 10K Satoshis, maybe that will maintain, etc. But I think Bitcoin Ordinals is ripe for someone to come in and like build something that does anything. And anything is such a loose term here, right? Like I'm talking about like not anything real. Doesn't need to be that. Just anything in the scope of crypto, right? Like it could be, oh, are they going to throw 3 parties, make 2 jackets, and like do whatever? Like yeah.
It could be like Taproot Wizards.
You know, it could be, maybe, but we got to see, right?
Yeah, the thing, Spencer, I totally understand where you're coming from, where you want to buy like an NFT startup, like an Oni Force, for example, or any of the many, you know, captains, any of the many NFTs that you own, D-Gods, right? The one thing about Taproot Wizards that Udi and Eric Wall have going for them is their provenance, so to speak, in the Bitcoin community. Udi's obviously like an OG Bitcoiner for a long time, basically a decade or more at this point. Eric Wall has also been around for a long time, very, very technical. And they kind of also represent the non-toxic, laserized Bitcoin maximalist, you know, educated, reasonable Bitcoiner archetype. And people are rallying behind that. So, you know, at the end of the day, isn't there a lot of power in the sort of just vibes kind of side of the NFT space, at least for the medium term? Like there is something to just vibes where all of a sudden people are just vibing and spending a lot of Bitcoin on these NFTs. It is a thing, especially when the space is young, and to the Bitcoiners, they don't really care or acknowledge everything that's happened in the NFT space. Remember, NFTs were stupid, but then now they're on Bitcoin. So it's kind of like day zero for them. They're not going to dig in and be like, well, tell me the history of everything that happened with the Ethereum NFT space. They're like, nah, man, that we're not acknowledging that. This is Bitcoin NFTs. These are new. So I almost feel like you have to time machine back to 2021 to understand what's going to pump and what's not.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable. I don't know. It's like you should have to remember, like looking at the beginning of ETH NFTs, there was a ton of shit from early on, and like there are all these people who tried to construct these historical narratives, and I think they were the weakest narratives in all of ETH NFTs. But there were so many of these early projects, like people just forget this.
Yeah, the
like,
curio cards and all that BS.
Yeah, you know, crypto skulls, whatever. Like there was all this early stuff, and as soon as there are companies that were doing real things, those historical narratives, I feel like were way, way, way less strong. The only one that maintained was CryptoPunks. And it's not obvious to me that there is a CryptoPunks today on Bitcoin Ordinals. I think there's a lot of, there's literally CryptoPunks on Bitcoin Ordinals.
12-fold.
12-fold might be it. 12-fold might be it. I don't know.
I think Taproot Wizards might be CryptoPunks. It's just in a different way.
Maybe,
you know what I mean?
Hey, you're a little bit biased there. You're hoping that you can mint one, PO. Okay. I just want a little bit of disclosure here.
Yeah, dude, that's bullshit.
Disclosure that maybe in the future, I have received zero word that I can. In fact, just me saying this right now probably is going to disqualify any hope of being able to mint one.
Sorry.
Who knows when this thing's even going to come out? It could be like a year from now.
Never mind, PO. Sorry.
You didn't, dude. I don't bank on.
You got undermined.
I'm not a button pressing moneymaker. Like a lot of people bank on being able to press a button to make money, and then when they can't press a button to make money, they become furious and influencers get to press buttons and make money.
I was going to say, I'd love it to be wizards, like just not punks, not a punk figure. Like every time there's a new chain, it's always punks first on that chain, which obviously feeds into the provenance of why the original ETH punks are just like the OGs. It's going to be Ethereum punks forever. So if there can be wizards, which is totally original, love that, and obviously the origin story of that, and then it'll be really cool if like other wizards came up on other chains as these new L1s and L2s, and then you just see how strong that provenance is, and whether it can spread to other chains. It becomes wizards against punks. It could happen.
It could happen, and watch out for the Bitcoin whales coming through and backing up Udi and Eric Wall. It becomes almost like a political position. I mean, we don't have to keep talking about this. I haven't mentioned it.
Got involved. He was providing some commentary on Taproot Wizards, and I was saying, I can't believe he did it. I can't believe that he got involved. Trump started attacking him over that whole situation. I don't know if you saw that around the Taproot Wizard situation.
The Wizards are silly. Okay, I've been a wizard for a long time. Okay, I'm the best wizard out there. I have a wand. Okay, I have a wizard outfit. It's not impressive. Okay, no, but look. So earlier this week on Tuesday, the Bitcoin Show, we actually had the biggest episode of the Bitcoin Show ever. There were almost 3,000 concurrent listeners, and it was because it was a quote unquote debate. Really, it was like a Maury Povich style hissy fit discussion between Udi and Greg Foss, and that just represents the new guard versus it's kind of like the old guard. It's like this weird 5-year period from 2016 to 2021 or something, where Bitcoin maximalists suddenly did the laser eyes thing. I mean, the laser eyes came later, but basically there's a split on Bitcoin's culture a little bit. It doesn't matter because Ordinals and all that technology is just plowing forward. So you can be like, Ordinals is stupid, but it's like, cool, transaction volume is only going to continue to increase. But basically, people might just ape into Taproot Wizards to be like, that's my political donation, just like people donate to the Democratic or Republican Party. So that's something that could happen. Only it's better than a donation because you can probably sell it for more money later. But we can move on from that. Nick, was there something on your mind that you wanted to talk about?
Something on my mind. Yeah, I'm wondering, what time are you headed to the beach?
To the Hamptons?
Yeah, I really want to know that. Pio's going to the Hamptons to hang out with elitist socialites who aren't really, let's be honest. Well, yeah, I guess those are socialites. That's what they call them. Pio fits in well in amongst the socialite crowd. When are you leaving?
I have to get a haircut, right? Get my beard trimmed. That's pretty essential stuff, Nick. And then my friend has to come to my house because she's watching my dog for the weekend. So probably leave around 3. Yeah.
Don't forget to pack your own sunscreen from New York and not buy it in the Hamptons.
Yeah,
I've just been informed. Pio just told me that sunscreen in the Hamptons costs $35.
But it actually does. Like, people probably don't believe this, but it's like you go to a convenience store in the Hamptons and it's like $35 for sunscreen. So we're not paying that. We bought it ahead of time. Kicks, it looked like you wanted to weigh in.
Yeah, then my camera spun out on me. I don't know if you guys saw that, but just make when you're at the club, buy them around. That's on your BRC20 play right there. OXBT, dude, get a shot on that.
Yeah, man.
And let them know.
Well, Casamigos.
This is on OXBT's tab.
One of the guys that's staying in the house that I'm staying at, last time I saw him, I was like, how you doing? He's like, I'm kind of taking, we were at a bar. He was like, I'm kind of taking it easy today. I was like, okay. I was like, are you pumped for the Hamptons? Like, cause I knew we were going to go to the same house. And he just goes like, yeah, I ramp it up big time when we get to the Hamptons. And I was just like, ramp it up? Like, what do you mean? And he like didn't explain, but I'm like, I'm curious.
Snorting Adderall on the drive up.
I'm curious to see what ramping it up means for old Tim when he gets to the Hamptons.
He may be seated in the back seats, pulling beers out of the ski slot in the Audi right there, just pulling them out and cracking them open and chugging them and throwing the used ones back in there. Not that I know anything about that. I'm just telling you that that's something that he may be participating in. And then he's just going to get there and he's going to be sloshed the whole weekend.
It's going to be something, man. It's going to be fun. It's the Hamptons during the summer, during Memorial Day weekend specifically. This is not my first time going there for this specific weekend. People,
you always hang out with that crowd. Okay, nice flex.
I do not always.
Yeah,
I've been
I feel like you have a good summer chest too, so I'm happy for you.
Like my physical chest.
Yeah, I feel like you have a good summer
Thanks,
chest.
buddy. Thanks, amigo.
No
Nick, what are you doing this weekend?
Well, I'm leaving town next weekend because you have the car. So I'm stuck here. I
offered to pay for your rental car.
I wouldn't have gone anywhere, to be honest. Maybe go fly a drone somewhere. But
so real quick, Danky Doll said, "Is Pio joining the cast of Summer House?" I'm not, but I met a guy from that cast, and he was a D-bag.
So I'm hanging out with my sister, some other people as well. We got a dinner and pool time planned tonight. Tomorrow I have a brunch planned. I got a very nice restaurant on Sunday evening, La Verre, and was able to book that. And so it's a very popular spot over in Brooklyn. And, or maybe it's La Vera. I don't know. But whatever.
I think Vera sounds right.
That's probably it. So anyways, that's what I'm working on. Kix, you got your hand raised. What did you want to add?
I just wanted to say 2 years ago, I bought 12 Bored Apes on Memorial Day weekend.
I remember that. I was in Miami, and me and Kix had not done our first show together yet, but we knew that when I got back from Miami, we were going to do the first one. And Kix was in the Discord that we were both in at that time saying, Bored Apes, blah, blah, bought a dozen. I was like, are they mooning? And Kix said, I specifically remember this. He goes, they most definitely are pumping. And I did the first ever NFT business trip I had was to Miami that weekend. That was Memorial Day 2021, long time ago. Yeah, that was those were good times, man. That was a long time ago.
Didn't Bored Apes mint out a little before Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, earlier in the month. Month.
Yeah, they were approaching 1 ETH on Memorial Day weekend.
That's when I got my second one.
Like 0.8. Yeah.
I got my second one then, and I said, I think this is really something. So I got a second one.
And the funny thing too is you may wonder the conclusion of the story.
I already pinned that. Thank you.
Well, it wasn't Kix holding till the top, because then he certainly would not be on this morning show in the middle of the bear market talking.
I wouldn't
about
be on
NFTs.
this call, dude.
Yeah, he'd be off on his island somewhere, enjoying the Pio lifestyle, which somehow the only one on the call that didn't buy Bored Apes in that era is still rocking it in the Hamptons this weekend. Living it up. Somehow mystery from his mystery wallet.
How much is it going to cost to go to the Hamptons?
I had to pay 600 big ones for the house.
That's it?
Yeah, I mean, there's
heck, dude. You're good.
Yeah, there's 4 guys and 2 girls staying in the house.
How many bedrooms?
1.
One.
Just kidding. I don't know, but I said as long as I have a bed, I'll give you the $600. But this friend of mine has rugged me on a.
Girls?
Sorry.
Are you interested in any of the girls?
We'll see.
Now
this
it's
friend of
Summer
mine.
House.
This friend of mine has rugged me on a bed before. Like he was like, nah, totally. Just come through this weekend. You're gonna have a bed, and I ended up sleeping on the couch. So, but that's not gonna happen this weekend.
Well, as far as you know, do you even know what the house looks like? Have you seen the house on Airbnb?
I saw the Airbnb link.
Is there a pool with the house?
You just got to get there early, man. Just get there early and mark your territory.
Well, I think one guy's already texted the group text. He's in his car already. I'm sure he's got like a dip in, or like he's got a Dunkin' Donuts cup of iced coffee and he's sending it.
I feel like you should be on the road right now. I'm gonna be completely honest, because literally, if you leave after noon, you're gonna be stuck in traffic. That's always what I've heard. Doesn't it take like 4.5, 5 hours to like get there?
It's going to take at least 3 hours, but everybody in New York is going to be going at the same time as me. So it might take closer to legit 5 or 6.
I would leave right now.
Well,
we got the show from here.
Well, I can't leave right now because I have to get a haircut and my dog. I have to wait for my dog's dog sitter and do some stuff to prepare the house for her. So I can't leave right now. It's
well, Nick, just go over to P.O.'s house. You can doggy sit. P.O., your hair looks fine.
I'm on a new calendaring system, and I have some items booked, which includes me reading a very important business book. But I also have a workout scheduled at 11 today. But this is me playing squash by myself, by the way, is today's booking. Kix is making a weird face. Look, don't worry. Lifting weights is going to be part of it. What? Do you what?
Do you grunt during your squash swing?
No, I don't.
So I was talking recently with one of the founders of my portfolio, and they were about like fundraising. I was like, yeah, like just so you know, like summer is really hard to raise because venture capital firms won't say this, but most of them just go on vacation. Yeah, and this show is like, I don't know why, but it's reminding me of that because we've talked about NFTs, like not at all, but we've talked a lot about the Hamptons.
Yeah,
we've now talked about squash. We haven't talked about pickleball yet, so it's not the full like shtick yet. But
I mean, Spencer, in all fairness, we did talk about Memorial Day weekend, me buying 12 Bored Apes, and you just never want to do the math on how much you would have made if you sold the top. For me, it was $9.7 million, but you never want to do that math. You just want to move on.
Yesterday, I was in an auction. I was in the NFT auction for Jack Butcher's Element, which was super stressful. I don't know if anyone else did it yesterday, but basically it like took me back to my eBay trading days. I used to do eBay back at uni, and I'd be buying and selling. And like a friend of ours, we were just like crazy eBay traders. And it like yesterday gave me that same like excitement and fear, because what would happen is a piece would end and it would get down to the last like 10 seconds or whatever. Then you come in and you bid, and then it goes back to being a 15-minute auction, right? And then every time you're just like watching these, like, you know, the time go down and whether like someone will come in. And then the way they did it is they had like 64 piece collection, 32, 16. And then it went down to, I think 4 was lowest number. And you could see that sometimes the prices in the collection below were the same price as the one you were bidding in. So you're like, you had to have all these strategies. Like, do I try and get one from the lower collection? Because technically it could then be higher. In the end, anyway, I got one, but it was bloody stressful. And the reason why I did it is because it's an in real life physical piece. I don't know if anyone's seen the tweet, but it's like printed by like one of the top printers in the US. And I can't wait for it to be delivered. It's massive. I've been told it's absolutely huge. So
like huge, like 6 feet.
Did someone say like 30 by 42 inches? Something like that.
That's huge.
Huge.
I mean, I feel like that.
No, the ape's bigger. That ape is like 5 feet if you count the frame.
No, but I'm excluding the frame. I think this may be around the same size as what you're talking about. I did see the video of that image being printed. It looked really cool. In terms of, well, you'll have to get it framed. That'll be the expensive part.
No, well, that's the thing that I just need. This is what I was saying to people. I was like, you know, with art, like you find the artist, you really like the artist. And then like, you know, they tell you the story. It was made by blind nuns and they were part of the process, and some person from somewhere random. Anyway, they get you and then you buy the art, and, you know, you take the art home and you're so happy, and you have to be careful how you transported it because it came from Vietnam. And then you go back home and then you go to the framer, and he gouges your eyes out for the same amount of money that you just paid for a piece of art, if not more. Yeah. And the thing is, if you don't frame art properly and you're just like, oh, I'm going to go to IKEA and go get like a frame, you completely devalue the entire piece because it just doesn't look right. So you have to frame it properly. So I'm fingers crossed this is framed. Otherwise, that's going to be a monster. That's going to be a monster invoice coming.
The framers are like ridiculous. You are right. It usually costs more than the piece of art. Oh, look at Kix getting hit. Wow. Kix bringing.
Well, he stuttered there on the video. We'll see.
All 3 pixels of Kix's camera have shown us the piece he's bringing over.
Well, I hear he's operating at 800 kilobytes today, so that's pretty fast. This is a map.
Is he wearing art gloves?
No, it's those are just his pale fingers, Spencer.
So this is a wooden not a painting, but I guess like
a map.
You know, they burnt it with wood or something of Middle Earth. Yes, I bought it drunk in Big Bear in 2016. Never go art shopping drunk. Really sold me on it. I think I paid an exorbitant amount of money, like $400. Definitely wasn't like the kind of money at that time that I could throw around loosely. But I felt pot committed in there. And yeah, so anyways, if you know a good frame for that, let me know.
You said they carved it with wood. You mean which is pretty funny.
Like wood burning or something like that.
Yeah,
but
wood burning. Yes.
No joke. In my townhouse, I used it as a doorstop for like 2 years. So it's a little chipped on one edge.
Well, you get a frame, no one will notice the chip on there.
That's what I figured.
I mean, I got a photograph shipped from Justin Aversano, and it was bent. Like the corner was bent, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to frame this so it's not bent. But like that's how it was received. So part of me is just like, okay, I don't know what to do with this. Maybe I text him sometime and be like, bro, like what, like, go reprint this. You know, you got a little bit of time to do it. But yeah, in terms of, I bought an NFT yesterday as well. I bought Claire Silver's NFT. I think I'm down.
I also bought it. You're probably slightly down. It went as low as 0.1 and bounced back up to 0.18. It's so hard for those alternative collections because it's like Restless collabing with Claire Silver to keep interest. But we'll see. I mean, you're basically, it's relatively low supply. It's like 2,300 supply.
Claire Silver, and I'd always wanted to, and so now I have one. But if you go on like Foundation and you bid on her stuff, it's so expensive. I think like the minimum's like 5 ETH or something. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I at least get one of those. So that was a good, I don't know, it felt like a good buy yesterday. And I bought it off secondary because it was below. If you wanted to try and mint, it was 0.2.
Yeah, because people were gambling for a rare.
Yeah, but what I also saw was some people had minted at 0.1. So I don't know if that was
the first leg. And I think it's like existing collectors or something like that. Yeah.
I think those people are the reason the floor is where it's at, is because they're like, well, I still make a profit, and they're just trying to flip it real quick. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's not that much Claire Silver stuff. How much is in the one? She's partnered on that marketplace. I'm blanking on. I can't believe I'm blanking on the name of this right now.
Not super rare.
No. One that they created basically, and she was the first artist to drop on it. And she's a partner in that marketplace. I'm totally
brain something.
Yeah,
brain drops.
Yeah. There you go. So yeah, I don't know what the floor on that one is, but I think it's over an ETH for her brain drops piece. Let's see. I'm gonna look this up right now to see what the price is. But yeah, she like that one just seems like I don't know where Claire. Here it is. Genesis by Claire. I mean, it's called Genesis. Oh, I don't know. I guess it's not. You don't buy it on the marketplace. That's interesting. Okay, it's not a marketplace.
It's not. There you go.
It's literally just drops.
It's drops, man. You know, we'll see. I mean, look, there's worse bets you can place, and if Claire continues to progress as an artist, plus, like Nick said, if paper hands get shaken out, maybe the price goes up. We'll see.
10 ETH floor price.
10 ETH. Spencer doesn't touch the fine art market as much in his fund. Is that going to change anytime soon, Spencer?
Probably not. I mean, I don't know. I think like for a fund, 2 things. One is like to build the size of position that I usually look to build for a project. It's kind of tough, especially with like the liquidity assumptions. I also like to report to my investors how we're doing, and if you buy like one of one art, it's really hard to like get any sense of price on the market. So it's just kind of, I think, a tough asset to hold for me. That doesn't, I don't love art and I'm not excited by the art in this space. I just think from like an institutional capital management perspective, like there are some people who think you should only be buying art. Get that? Not my opinion. I think like the degen sort of strategies are better served in the non-art market. But different strokes for different folks. I know one thing that I was looking at recently is there's some of these open editions that I feel like people forgot about that are just so obscenely cheap right now. It's kind of interesting to look at. Like the Drift Shooters first day out is like 0.01 or 0.02 ETH. Like there's at some point, like that's got to be, I don't know, like
it becomes a buy at some point.
Like, and we saw this. There were some opens editions or things from that, like other artists that in the bull cycle did really well. So, I don't know what the best exposure to the art market is. The thing that I have always been a skeptic of that I think is a really unpopular opinion is I'm a little bit skeptical of art blocks in general. There's just so many of them. I mean, there's some obvious exceptions, right? Like Fidenza and Chromie Squiggle, right? Like those are sort of their own thing. But we talk so much about dilution in every collection except for art blocks. And I just don't know. Like there's just so many NFTs. Like art blocks is issued almost like a CryptoKitties amount of NFTs.
Yeah, there's that, Spencer. The other thing is like these are not my words, right? Because I'm not a I'm not a modern art market veteran. Like I don't work in the art world, right? But I've heard from people in the art world, I've heard this, that some of the artists that got art blocks, like basically that got accepted to art blocks, had never really posted like big sales or like had that much traction before art blocks. And then their art blocks drops and it's like a floor on, 3,000 total assets of like, $1,200 floor or something like that. You do the math on that, and it's like that's kind of a lot of coin, just because.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I will say, I think you'll hear people in the traditional art market be like, oh, like they're not real artists because they didn't have their sales or whatever before coming to NFTs. Yeah. But like, screw that. I'm fine with an artist that like comes out of the NFT space. As a matter of fact, it may even be better, right? Like one of the challenges sometimes for people who are too big outside of the NFT space is like they have a fallback plan, right? Like they could just dip and be like, bye, like I'm back to selling.
That is, yeah, that's a thing. Yeah,
screw you guys, I'm out, right? Whereas like I actually love the stories of artists that really have come up to provenance through NFTs. I mean, the best kind of artists, I think, like if I were to construct an art thesis, the artists that I'd look for are artists who were consistently producing art for years and years and years and never got their break until NFTs. So it's like, that they're committed to art. That they're like committed to the medium. And that like the traditional art market isn't going to like adopt them in the same way because the traditional art market is like, oh, like this is just an NFT artist, right? And so like they're here for the long haul. They're going to stick around. They're probably going to spend a lot more time thinking about the NFT side of NFT art. And this is where like I think like generative art is somewhat interesting in the sense of like there's something blockchain related that has to do with the art itself.
Yeah.
But I think like NFT, like this is where we're seeing like Jack Butcher do really well, right? Is like the NFT and mechanics is part of like the art itself. And that's super interesting. But I don't know, like I think that there's more that can be done. And I think that's where like art that is better served printed on a canvas, I don't think does the best in NFTs.
Well, I will be honest, I like getting the physical art side of things. So if I'm able to get a print and an NFT, that's sort of a double bonus. That said, when that happens, the NFTs themselves end up not being worth as much because like when you sell the NFT the next time, it's not associated with physical. So inherently the value that's paid right out the gate is a premium for the actual physical component. The thought on the traditional art market, who gives a shit? Like in terms of like the whole thesis around the NFT space is we're doing this our own way. We're doing it differently. This is our market basically. And I think whether or not you believe that, I mean, the reality is at some point you do want traditional art.
Yeah, you have to transcend.
World to have demand for it.
Yeah, just accept it as normal.
But I think that that's something that could take decades or a decade or something like that. And that's all good. So you end up buying one of these early pieces. If you have the money to buy something, it's $20,000, which most people do not. If you have if you have the money to go do it, congratulations. Make that play, place that bet, and say, I like this piece of art. You can become that. I'm blanking on the word for someone that buys, an artist early edition. They're oh my God, who's the person that buys an artist early on and becomes their supporter?
Patron?
Yeah, you can become their patron and set the floor price. I mean, that's what happened with Basquiat and a lot of these other people. When they go to Christie's, the people that own that go and bid on all of them. Jay-Z is bidding on all of those pieces at this point and saying that's the price. And so so now the value of that ends up going up. We saw that in that documentary, the price of everything.
Yeah.
And how that stuff is sort of impacted, and the antiques market and all this other stuff. To be able to play in that market at the high prices is not a game for everybody. And in fact, you need to be wealthy. In the NFT space, there's a lot of people making poor financial decisions where we're saying, yeah, I'll buy this thing for $50,000. It's 10% of my net worth.
Yeah.
And that,
or more.
That's just not good capital management, but people still do it. And in a bull market, you could argue that's smart, capital management, because I ended up making a bunch more, and they look back and say, see, I'm a genius. You're an idiot for not having participated when I said that this thing would go up. But the reality is, over the long term, that's just pure gambling. Anyways, total other tangent. In terms of quality NFTs, we got one today. You can go and acquire it today. Wait, did we not use this? Hold on one sec. I think this may be.
Wait, but Nick, do I have to be a giga whale to acquire this piece of art that you're referencing? Do I need $50,000? Do I need to be more than 10% of my net worth to get this piece of art?
You don't, dude. And that's the benefit of using our platform is anybody can access this with as little as an email. That's all that they need. And all
Nick, I want to drop the password in the Discord real quick first. Is it the password I put into our system, or is it a different one?
I don't know. I'm going to put it here. There's the password. We're going to give the portal holders who are in the Discord 5 seconds to claim it so they can get early access, because that's what we do for our portal holders. And then separately, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go take one as well, because I go first before everybody.
Wow.
Remember that?
I don't believe that.
Remember that? And then I do have one, which is edition number 1. Someone got edition number 2 in here. Someone got 4. That's what I'm vodka water lime got edition number 1. Shout out to that individual. The password for today is dolphin, the animal. One of the only animals in the animal kingdom. Pia was talking about how I discuss sex a lot. Let's bring that up again. They're one of the only animals that has sex for pleasure in the animal kingdom. So remember that, Pia. And the passcode today starts with dolphin, ends with the number 1. Dolphin 1. That's the code for today.
Dude, there's no way that's true. I was on the golf course the other day and I saw 2 birds having sex and they looked like they're having a good time.
What, is this fluttering the wings?
Yeah.
It
messed my swing up in a big way. I feel like I should have gotten a free stroke.
How big were the birds?
Seagull size.
You saw seagulls having sex?
First time in my life.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Mating, guys. It's called mating.
How did it feel? How did it feel seeing the seagulls?
It fucked my swing up in a big way, because I was like, don't let this get in your head. And then that thought got it in my head, if that makes sense. And then I shanked a shot. And he said, what happened? And I said, there's 2 seagulls doing it right there, 10 feet away. That's what happened.
And, Irish tweeted, stay hard, seagulls.
Saw a couple of seagulls doing what nature does best. Made me think of something. Am I doing everything that I need to do? Are you doing everything that you need to do?
Goggins would have shitted on me for messing up that shot, dude.
Dude,
Like,
I like
you know what I've
supportive
been through?
Pio. I like inspirational voice Pio. I feel like he needs to be more on the show more often.
That's
right.
David Goggins. I mean, look, I've been working on several impressions for this show, so hopefully people will appreciate them.
Theo discussed it last night. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Spencer, you're New York elite. What are you doing for this weekend? Memorial Day weekend's big for the elite New Yorkers.
I don't know that I'm New York elite. I don't really know. I'm thinking about making some last minute plans, but I may also just stay home and relax and order some sushi in, that kind of vibes, hanging out. Yeah. I feel like Memorial Day weekend, the thing that I don't want to do is sit in traffic. I had a big family wedding last weekend. It had to sit in like an obscene amount of traffic getting through the tunnel.
I'll be doing that. I'll be doing that.
I'm just not. I'm not trying to like sit in a car for like fucking an obscene number of hours, just back and forth, being like, oh, like Memorial Day, like whatever. Like it's the metaverse. Like if I want to go on a Tuesday, I can. It's kind of the benefit of what I do. The other thing too is, and like this is just a warning, is there's very often like Memorial Day weekend is a big whale movement day weekend in crypto because everyone assumes everybody else is at the beach away from their desks, and so. I don't know. I don't want to be too far away from being able to sign some transactions if that needs to come up. So got to keep that in mind as well.
Watch the whales.
Watch the whales, man. They move on more.
Oh, well, we're watching it digitally.
Yeah, so just be careful in them digital streets, guys. You never know. They're out to get you. It's a dog eat dog world kind of thing. Unless you're Bodago, in which case the pack is strong together. So there you go.
Hell yeah. We're gonna wrap earlier.
And real quick though, I want to just mention, the NFT that you guys all just got to claim at the Nifty.com with the code Dolphin is Dolphin 1, the Dolphin, then the number 1. It's sponsored by MyFirstDAO. They sponsored the show 2 days ago. We wanted to, show some extra love and do a free NFT. So you got Buddy learning from the MyFirstDAO character Dolphin, and yeah, you can still mint that. So that's still open if you want to, improve your network in the NFT space, in the Web3 space. I think it's a really good opportunity. That was what really stuck out to me. Obviously, I think
like $20 or something like that. I was like,
30,
or $30. Regardless, it was quite reasonable, and they're not like asking for an absurd amount of money. And I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty cool, and I can, like you're saying, network and have a conversation with people. This is one of the few that I feel good.
It's very reasonable
about like promoting it. All the others complete. No, I'm just kidding.
He's kidding. But anyway, in all seriousness, obviously, I think the course will be good. I think you'll learn a lot in the course, but more importantly, again, that networking thing, because as you work in this industry for, longer and longer, you start to see the different archetypes of folks. And there is an archetype of folks that want to work in the industry, but they can't figure out how to do it. And it's just hard to get in sometimes that way. There's a lot of people that are just being very extractive from the industry, which, they have their role as well, and they're not interested in working in the industry. But if you're interested in actually working in the industry, it does seem like this would be if I was trying to get into the industry right now, if I go back in time 2 years and there was an opportunity like this, I would certainly spend $30 on it. Like I would invest the whopping $30 to have a networking opportunity like this, where other people also are interested in working in the industry. So
yeah, I mean, you spend 30 on a BRC 20 and it's worth 120 now. So
there you go. It's actually worth more, I think, now. I think it's closer to 150 now. Anyway, Nick, you can do our little closeout wrap, buddy.
This has been the NFT morning show. Thanks for coming. Shout out to the YouTubers. Remember to lick that like, smash the subscribe.
Spencer, as Nick's playing the music on the way out, what projects are you looking for whales to sweep this weekend? People want to know. It's a whale weekend.
It's the whale weekend. I don't know if you are sweeping this weekend. I think we may see some dumps.
Spring cleaning, baby. So
Yeah.
I'll be sweeping, mopping, all sorts of things. I may even be Windexing.
But who knows? Who knows? You never know. Like people might jump on things. There's some sell-offs. There's some buy. We're going to see, does Milady pump again? I don't know. Does Mutant Apes, are they going to go back up? Is everything going to go to fucking zero? Like, who knows, man? It's the NFT space. Could go up, could go down. Is it a double inverted, triple backflip? Seagulls having sex on the golf course kind of chart looking
Amen,
thing?
brother.
I don't know. Like, what are we doing here?
What are we doing?
I'm gonna give some spring summary music for the outro. But shout out to YouTube. Thanks for joining. See you on Tuesday. We'll be back.
See you guys.